Well, we've got things moved in here into position for some things, and I'm going to go ahead and get started getting the water pipes connected. I should have, fingers crossed, I should have everything I need to get it all routed and connected up. I've got the water softener positioned loosely in the corner there where it's going to go. This is the bypass valve that goes on the water softener. So I'm going to work the water line around over here. I am going to put a hard water cold service to the fridge for the ice maker and the water dispensing. The fridge is one we've had for quite some time. We had it in our previous house, and when we completed the remodel and sold it, we bought a new fridge for that home and for that, and we brought this fridge with us, and we've used it here at our little cabin since we moved up. And then when we recently put the kitchenette into the cabin on the inside, we moved this fridge from the outside up here to the shop. It's been a great fridge and it works fine. It's huge. It takes up a lot of room in here, and we'll see how things go if we decide to cycle it out at any point. But a large fridge in here is going to be really handy when it comes time for doing all of the processing of food and stuff. So the nice thing with this fridge is like the meat lugs that we use for when we're doing processing of vegetables and for meat processing, they sit just fine in these shelves. The space looks huge and it's going to grow in pretty quick by the time we get cabinets here and a floating island there and stuff, but I think the overall finished space will be really nice. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This little stub of water line from the shutoff valve, we're going to pull that off and start piping the new lines. We've got two hot hose bibs. The outside hose bib, the frost free, is a hot cold tap. So it's the same hose connection body, but this allows us to run hot water out, and it's also the frost free. That would just be really convenient back there. And then also right here is another single hose tap going to the shop, and it's not a frost free, but it will be on the hot side, and that will give me a hot hose bib in the shop for rinsing down the floor, washing things down, filling the mop bucket, things like that. It'll be really nice to have it hot. I got my little propane torpedo heater in here to help with these pipes. This PEX, when that PEX is all coiled up like that, it likes to stay in that shape. So it'll warm it up a little bit and it'll flex and open up and straighten out a little easier. So that'll make it a lot easier to warm the coil and straighten things out. I'm just gonna put my audio book on and put my head down and try to hang through all these. and coat that out just a little bit. A little bit more. I had realized that once I got the pipes in there and the faucet through here, it was going to be really tough to get the siding in there with have it fit nice without having some kind of weird, crazy cuts or some strange things to deal with. And I decided that this would be the simplest method. I'll block that out, and then when we do the siding, I can run a J-channel around this to trim that in. And then I'll probably just paint match this with the touch-up paint for the trim that's color matched. And that way this will just match the same color as trim and it'll be blocked out. Simplest solution for the not having the siding on when I come through the wall. It's a wrong bit. Nope. All right, I think that's gonna work. It's not quite as clean as some of it. I might take a little bit off of this cold line that comes here. It's like, seems like it's about an inch long, and I can cut it right by the clamp and cut the clamp off and then tighten it up. I'm probably gonna do that. I just have to change the die back to the 3/4 inch crimp. And I didn't want to do that right away, but I'll probably do that now. Now that I've kind of gotten things situated and cleaned up and connected. Everything seems pretty okay. It would look really nice if this was all copper lines and all nice straight and clamped in there, all pretty and stuff, but it's all going behind cabinets, all the way to here. And this part here is all very utilitarian. It just has to be there and accessible. So I may put some paint on that just to kind of dress it up a little bit and kind of have it fade away. I think I'm to the point now, looking at it, I don't like it, so I am going to cut that cold line, shorten it up so it's a little bit straighter and just cleaner. And then everything should be connected. So once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and cycle through valves. The main shut-off valve here, and the water's already live to that. I've got the water softener in bypass mode for now, just because I want to flush a little bit of that pipe. When I took off that stub out pipe, there was a bit of drywall dust down in the bottom of that valve, and I vacuumed most of that out and looked pretty clean, but I just want to go a quick flush through a few things first before I send it into the devices. So the water softener's in bypass mode for now. I'm going to vent the first little flow right out this cleaning bypass valve at the bottom of the tank before it goes into the bottom of the cleaning bypass valve at the bottom of the tankless water heater before it goes up and in. I'll just vent some of that out real quick. That's why I've got it shut off on the outlet side. And then I will work it through the rest of the lines. And once I get it up through the tankless unit, then it will be live to the main trunk line. And I'll go ahead out to the outside faucet and vent that hot side through so that everything cycles through there. And then I'll vent this other shop side faucet and then the sink faucet kind of last. And then I will put the salt in the water softener and get that cycling so it can go through its recharge steps. I still don't have the tank connected to the gas line yet, and I need to just see what I have to make that connection. I also need to verify the altitude and propane fittings are installed. I think it comes with natural gas fitting installed, so I need to verify that also inside the tankless unit before the hot water is ready to go. One step closer. With this wrapped, I've got to do the drain fittings. There's a condensate drain for the tankless heater that has to come down and have an air gap drain so that it has to have like a backflow air gap so that it can just drip in. There's also the pressure relief on the hot side that I'll pipe down. I don't want it, if it ever does blow off, I don't want it blowing off all over the floor in here. I'd rather it blow off and go down into the drain as well. And then the water softener has a drain hose that has to come over for when it goes through its recharge cycle. And that will need to come in also. So I picked up some fittings for the drain stuff to get that all kind of put together to allow the pipe work to come in and still give a backflow prevention on all those lines. That's the kit. Nope, that's emergency parts. settings. That goes back in. There's another kit in here. Use for propane. Use on the altitude 0 to 10. So this comes set up for natural gas. Comes with a plate for propane. So inside there in the gas valve, we just pop that open and exchange the plate. And then we have dip switches inside to change it from natural gas to propane for the firing rate, mixing rate. For natural gas, they got an altitude setting to adjust, but we don't have that issue with propane. Right there. So that one stamped right in. Says natural gas or gas NG. Natural gas has a lot lower BTU rating than propane, so it requires a much larger orifice versus the propane. This one's the natural gas with the large hole at the bottom. This one's the smaller hole for the propane. It's really all there is to it. Just change that plate and then a couple of dip switches. It's a lot more complicated for your oven, range oven at home, because each individual burner, there's a little jet inside the top. So each individual burner has a different size orifice. It has to be unthreaded and changed out. And usually anymore they come with a little kit that's taped to the back, and it's a set of jets, and you can exchange each one from natural gas to propane depending on what your gas source is. I need some pipe to do the condensate drain. I've got some. I just have to go hike up through the snow and dig it out of the pipe storage space. So I'm not gonna mess with that tonight. I've got a hose on there for now. I'm just gonna do a test fire. I'm not gonna really run and use like crazy. So there may be some condensation drip that comes out that. I've just got it going out through the drain, and it's plenty for what I need to do. I just need to flush the lines, test fire, make sure everything's running and flowing hot water out everywhere that it needs to. So I'm gonna turn on the cold there to flush everything one more time there, and then fire the hot and see what it does. No more air hissing, so let's turn on the hot and see if she fires. Start up. Blue screen is usually good. That means we've got ignition. We've got a flame indicator showing that it's taking flame. I can hear the rumble. We're reading 2.1 gallons flow coming out the back. I haven't done the shop one yet. We're doing it. Now we're 2.3, 2.5. 2.6. Then we're getting air moved out and everything's like that, so we've got a pretty consistent flow of water going now. Yeah, it's warm here. Warm. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, that's hot, steamy water. Oh yeah. Nice. Okay, that all fired good, everything went well. We're in post-purge, which just is the fan circulating through to clear any combustion gases and things like that. As I'm looking at it, I may have to do a little bit of adjusting on these lines. Now that they've warmed up, they expanded just a touch, and I may need to trim that back just a little bit to make sure that it doesn't give me buckling issues or anything like that. I knew I had a little bit of gap there anyway. It's hard dealing with the cold pipe, trying to get it formed and set into place. So if we need to do that, we will. Not a big deal. Let's check that other one. It's already hot, steamy water. Nice. Well, if that ain't just right. I'm pleased, everything works good. We're going to check the water on the fridge and that's all good. The water softener's working good. Everything's set. We need to button up these drain fittings and that's pretty minor. I just have to go dig out the stuff tomorrow, but I am pleased. It's exciting to have water, usable water here instead of just the frost-free hydrant out front of the shop. That's exciting. We're moving forward and it feels really, really good. This is a big step. Now I can start building and installing cabinets. It's exciting.